How you doing?
Can I help you, sir?
I need that repaired.
You look familiar. Do I know you?
Yeah, you know what? You look familiar too.
I know you. You're the Holy Buckets
Holy
guy.
buckets!
Yeah,
Wow.
from Ohio.
Yeah! What do you want? Keep the cat in there.
I want to buy one of these engines. Do I know you?
Oh!
Have we ever met before?
No, never.
How'd you get here?
Oh, on that mini bike outside.
You rode that mini bike all the way here from Ohio?
I did.
What about traffic?
Oh, that was easy. It was real light and easy.
You're crazy.
It was fun.
Well, sorry, we don't work on toys.
It's not a toy.
It looks like a baby toy generator.
It's not a toy generator.
It's real?
Yeah, watch.
Well, it's got compression.
The wife wants you to use it to charge her phone.
You know, they have power ports in your car. You can charge your phone. You don't need a generator.
I got a 70 Chevelle and it doesn't work in a, cigarette lighter thing.
So you want me to get this thing going?
Listen, I had to have it. So it charges my wife's phone so she can get on that Facebook thing. Because if I don't get that Facebook thing, she don't get on there, she gets wild. So I need this.
Okay. Well, leave it with me and I'll take a look at it. Maybe I can get it going. But you're going to have to come back.
Sure, yeah, I'll come back out.
So you have to go back to Ohio. How long did it take you to get here?
Let's see, maybe 13 or 15 hours, maybe.
15 hours?
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, well, come back next week and I'll see what I can do. Hopefully I can get it going.
I'll come back next week. That'd be a fun ride. Back here again.
All right. Holy buckets!
Holy buckets, man, yep.
Pterodactyl here. Today's video is going to be on this little guy here. This tiny tiger. This little baby generator. 300 watts. And it also has 12 volts. Little two-stroke engine. Made by Olson and Rice out of California. That's who made the engine. And the generator end of it was made by worldwide distributor Gadco Electra out of Santa Monica, California. So 115 volts, 300 watts with battery charging, 12 amps, 12 volts DC. Pretty neat, huh? I remember seeing these engines. They used to put them on a lot of little pieces of equipment. Little water pump, little chainsaw. They're highly collectible. So we're going to see if we can get this one running. It's missing the air cleaner. Here's the carburetor. And it's got some little tickler on here for the fuel. That diaphragm, I'm sure, is hard as a carp. That may be a problem trying to get that. Here's the choke. And this whole part of the crankcase here, I guess. I don't know if it's separate. It might be separate. Yeah. This is the gas tank down here. Let's take a peek inside. And it don't look too bad. Now I know it looks black on camera, but I think that's some kind of baffle that's in there. It almost looks like plastic, like a black plastic baffle in the bottom of the tank. Maybe it's removable even. It might have a gasket or something on there. But of course, the first thing we're going to want to do is see if we got any ignition. It feels like it's got compression. Yep. It should have enough compression. So let's see if we got any kind of ignition. It's got points condenser because of the age of it. Let's see. Maybe we should use this spark tester. It's got this goofy Oop. We just ground it to there. There we go. See, there's really no good way of holding that on there. Maybe I got something I can clip on there. Here are these clips. There we go. We don't want it to touch any metal, because then it'll give us a false reading. Alright, let's see if we got any spark. Nope. No spark. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is pull the flywheel and get to the points. Now there's the condenser. This thing is so tiny they had to mount the condenser externally. Here's your kill. That's how you kill it. A little stop tab. And if I remember right, the cylinder unscrews from the crankcase. That's why it's got these little, like, screwdriver slot in there. You can take the plug out, and then they had a tool, and you can unscrew the cylinder to take it off the piston. But we're going to pop this thing apart. We get a Phillips, a Philly. We get a Philly screwdriver. And I need a tray so I don't lose anything. Let's see if hopefully we can get this spark out of it, because I don't think parts are going to be readily available for this. Now they had a longer screw on this side with a nut on the back, and that's how you secured the condenser. Let's see, up one more. A neat little thing. Another little toy. Taryl's getting all kinds of little. Look at that. Look at the little sculpture I made on my little magnetic. Alright, I gotta take this off. This little air deflector, so I can get the recoil off. See if I can add them to my sculpture. Ooh, wow, look at that. Woo! You're having way too much fun with magnets. Alright, this came out. And I got this off. So there. Olsen. Probably one of the Olsen twins. And Rice. Oil hole. Do not pull starter vigorously. Oh, wow. So it looks like a sticker on top of a sticker here. Breaker point gap, 20 thousandths. Spark plug gap, 30 thousandths. Fuel mixture to 1 something, gallon. Fuel mixture, gallon to 1 fuel, 1/3 pint outboard oil with 1 gallon regular gas. Mix well in clean container. Cold start. Choke lever to choke, pull starter until engine fires, then choke lever to half, and crank when engine starts, move choke lever to open. To start hot, choke lever to half until engine starts, then move to open. Looks pretty clean. Got a little ball for recoil, a little rubber bumper. That looks like a chain link kind of idea. The little rollers in there. It's pretty neat. Little governor here. Here's our little governor, little air vane. Alright. So, these left-handed threads, I don't want to break this thing. Where's my little impact? Half inch. Oh, well, that just popped off of there. How are those held on there? Oh, look at that. They just pop off. The little pawls. The little starter pawls. Let's stick them in there so we don't lose them. Alright, let's be careful with this thing. It almost looks like right-handed threads? Yeah, right-handed threads. Gotta be careful. Alright, let me get my little brass rod so I can tap on that. We don't want to damage anything. Let me put this back on so we don't flare them out. Let me find my little brass rod. Well, my big brass rod. Lay, lady, lay. Lay across my big brass rod. Woo! One little sharp blow. And a little Bob Dylan. Alright, flywheel. So, I would have to guess and say the points are under here. And hopefully, they're just dirty. And we can get spark out of it. Alright, the key is built into the flywheel. Alright. Because I seen a little keyway there. There we go. There's our points. Woo! There they are. So let's see if they're open and closing. They look pretty dirty. Yeah, they're opening and closing. Not much to this thing. Look at that, they pull right off of there. Oh yeah, look at that contact. Good. We can get spark out of it. Whoever had it must have been running it some. Maybe quite a bit. Alright. I think I got a piece of, 400 grit sandpaper here. Now, I know a lot of you are, you're not supposed to sand points with sandpaper. Why not? I got some old Briggs manuals that tell you to do that. Sand them with fine emery paper. Yeah, well, I was taught that not to do that. Why? Who taught you that and why? What was the reason? I don't know. They just said don't do that. Oh. Okay, so you're going to blurt something out that somebody told you, but you don't have an answer as to why you're not supposed to do it. That's almost like, don't do that. Well, why, Mom and Dad? Because we told you so. Yeah, but why? Because we told you so. Just don't do it. So the points are opening and closing, but they don't look like they're at no 20 thousandths. And yeah, they're not. So I'm going to reset them. It's a little too much. Sometimes when you tighten it, it'll snug them up. No. Oh, I guess I got it kind of loose, don't I? Yeah, that's 20 right there. That feels good. Yeah. That's good right there. All right. Fingers crossed. Let's put it back together. And if we got spark, should be able to shoot a little dinosaur cocktail in there. Oil and gas mix, syrup, and juice from my relatives. Took them millions of years to make that. Out of old plants and get the keyway to the top. Get it to drop on there. Yeah, gotta be real careful because this is like working on a toy. And then we had a washer and a nut. We're not gonna hammer on it too hard. I don't want to break the end of the crankshaft off. It's not like I got any kind of torque specs on it. Alright, we'll put our little pawl back on there. Little starter pawl. That ain't right, knucklehead. This way. They spring back. And then this must hold them pawls on there. Right? Forgetting anything? No. And then we'll put a couple of screws in there. So we can just test it for spark real quick. And then if it's got spark, and I'll put the rest of the screws in. One of them was real long for the condenser. And that screw was this one. This long one here. And then our condenser, and then the little nut. If I can get it started. You got big sausage fingers. This makes it hard for a grass rat with sausage fingers. You might want to find another hobby. Or you got grandkids. That's a good way to get them involved in it. Because they got little teeny tiny hands and fingers. Come here, Missy. Missy, come here. Put that nut on for Grandpa. He's got big sausage fingers. All right. Let's try this again. See if we got some spark. And you know if we do, I'm going to be hooting and hollering. Ready? Oh. Woo! You know what? I'm going to take the spark plug out. All right, let's see if we got spark. Woo! Good hot spark! Woo! Woo! All right. Put the plug in. It's got a weird plug, 10 millimeter, like a motorcycle. This is a UY6. I hope it ain't fouled. now, this is some old gas from another video. Get rid of this. Alright. I've got some of this pre-mixed Aspen 2-cycle. Let me pour a little of this in a shot glass. Do not drink it. And where is my syringe? I know I got a syringe. That ain't it. This is it. This one. And we suck up a little of that 2-cycle mix. Choke open. Let's get rid of this. Fingers crossed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They opened the choke. Thought I just heard it pop. There we go. Woo! 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 We'll do that again. I put some cleaner in here, some carb spray. Let's see what kind of nastiness comes out. Oh, that is some nastiness. Wow. I'm gonna have to clean that better. Put a lot in there. Kind of get that dissolved. And then I'm going to get some kind of light to plug in there. Now if you notice, you know, it's only got a 2-prong. It don't have a grounded outlet. So maybe I can find a light bulb, because it's 300 watts and it's a 60-watt light bulb. We'll see if the generator part works. I still got to put this back on, put the other screws in. All right, let me look around, see if I can scrounge up something to plug in there. So I got some more of that crap out of there. I think it's just old oil and gas mix. I filled it with this Aspen. This is an alkylite fuel, if you don't know about it. If you know anything about alkylite fuels, there's not many of them out there, them and steel. The difference between this and other canned fuels is an alkylite fuel will not attack rubber or plastic parts. We have a video on this fuel. If you put a packing peanut in this fuel, it won't eat it up. I've got a jar that's had a packing peanut in it for months and it's still floating around in there. It's real popular in Europe. So you grass rats across the pond probably know about this alkylite fuel. It's starting to get popular here in the States. Alright, so I got this little pilot light. It's a 110 volt light, because that's the only thing I can find. So I put the Aspen fuel in it. I don't know if this little diaphragm thing in here is hard or soft. May have to go through the carburetor. But I'm going to give it another shot of some of this Aspen. And we'll see if that light lights up. Alright, get over there, Mr. Cameraman. No, didn't light up. And it revved up. Do not pull vigorously. Yeah, give me another shot. I doubt if it'll pick up any fuel, because it probably hasn't been around in a while. I'm sure this motor has brushes in it too. flood it now? Alright. Well, it ain't putting out juice. Well, let me see if I can pull this cover off here without wrecking anything. Let's see what's going on. With the generator part. Might just have to flash it. The negative. Let me get a plastic hammer. I really don't know how this thing comes apart. I don't want to break it. There we go. Probably a bearing in here. Okay. Carefully, because these wires, look at these wires are all brittle. They're all breaking apart. So it's a brushless motor. It appears to be, from what I can see here. It's got some diodes in there. Oh, look at that. There's a bug on there. And it's alive. It is alive. Come on, little guy. Get out of there. Come on. All right. So that's all it is. A magnet, it's like a big alternator. And it looks like a couple of diodes in there. A couple of big diodes. The wiring is so brittle, look, it's just falling apart. That is not good. It's making it difficult to get in here to kind of work on this thing. Alright, let me do a little inspecting and we'll get back to it. Alright, so these wires, the insulation's all falling apart and they had them wrapped around the exposed end of these diodes that are in there. So I'm just wondering if maybe they were, since the insulation was falling off, maybe they were shorting against them diodes. So I'm going to have to get this apart, and then I could take some heat shrink tubing to make some new insulation on these wires. And then when I have it apart, I'll test those diodes to see if they're good. Because those diodes look like they're somehow pressed into this cover. Hopefully they're still good. Otherwise I'll have to come up with a solution on how to do that. But I can see how this plug is held in with this screw back here. But whenever you're working on generators, you got to be very careful not to nick or scratch any of this. You drop this thing on the ground, it's done. You ruined it. You're not going to fix it. Because it'll short out. Because that coating they put on the wires is the insulation. That's why they coat those wires. Because if they put insulation like this on all these wires, this little field part would be this big. Because of all the insulation would be taking up all that space. For those of you that don't know that. So I'll have to get this apart and test those diodes, and we'll have to put some more insulation on there. But we still got to get it running too. So this is screwed on to the end. And I'll have to look and see if I can even get any parts for this carburetor and these fuel lines here. There's about 3 lines going in here. And I'm sure there's one that picks up. So yeah, it's a pretty involved little deal here. It's not going to run on its own. At least I don't think so. Nothing to hold on. I need to clamp this thing down. Alright, I got the carburetor apart. This goes like this. And then it's got this little diaphragm here. Oh. That goes on there like that. And this one underneath like this. And this one like that. And then this, it's like a little tickler. So it would push on this diaphragm, which opens the needle to let the fuel in. But I'm sure there's lines that go in the tank, and they're probably either plugged or rotted off. And this thing is hard as a carp. I may be able to make this out of a thin piece of like diaphragm material. Maybe a diaphragm from something else, I could cut it out. Or maybe I can find one online on the inner screen. But there's no fuel coming up in here. Which I don't know how it would get up there anyway without pressure. So We got a line that goes from here back into the tank. And then this line here is going right to the carburetor. So I'll have to see about getting this little carburetor off of here so I could take a closer look at it, get it apart. And maybe, just maybe, we can get this thing going again. So I took my paint pens so I can identify these wires, and I marked this wire was for the white going to the outlet, the neutral, and this was the power wire, so I marked this one black. And then I cut off these crimp-on nuts. And now I'm going to cut these other wires that are going to the diodes. So I'm going to cut them like right here in the middle. So I still have some wire hanging off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to uncrimp those diodes right now. And then this is just a spade connector for the 12 volts, which I'll just remove from there. So now we got a better look at this. And of course, this is the negative for the 12 volts, which they're just grounding right to the case. So yeah, these wires are all the insulation is all brittle from age. So I'm hoping that's what it was. Maybe I can put some little connectors on there, and insulated connectors. Alright, I got my meter out and I got it set to diodes. So let me clamp it this way first and see what happens. Nothing. So while we switch it, and oh yeah, that one's good. Let's try it this way, this one. Oh yeah, let's try it the other way, just to make sure it's not bad. So they're good. Okay. So let me strip this back and make sure this outlet is good. I got to get it different. So now I'm going to check the outlet. So I got a jumper in there. Alright, that one's good. So the outlet's good. So maybe it was just like I said. Maybe that insulation had come off these wires. These here that went to the diodes. Or even these. I think these were wrapped around the diode. One of these wires was wrapped around this part of the diode here. And I'm thinking the insulation came off and was touching on there. Alright, so let's do a little testing on this thing too. Let's test these windings, see what happens. Okay, they seem to test okay. Well, let me put some heat shrink on here for insulation on these wires and get this cover all hooked back up again and get it all back together, and then we'll concentrate on the carburetor. Okay, I got the generator part all back together. I got all the heat shrink tubing and stuff on there. We're going to show you a couple pictures of what I did, and I had to use a little silicone on it too, and fingers crossed that this thing is going to start generating some power. So I'm going to plug this 120 volt light back in there. And here's our gas. Here's our dinosaur cocktail. Let's put some drops in there. And we'll see if this thing will light up. Fingers crossed. Got a shot on there, Mr. Cameraman? Uh-oh. Still ain't working. Maybe it ain't revving up enough. Try that. Ain't got a good connection. Yeah, I don't think I had it running fast enough. Let's try it again. All right, we got juice. It's going to run. Let's try the 12 volt now. So I rigged up this little light from a headlight from an old tractor. The bottom should be positive, which is here. And I found a wing nut. I've been called a wing nut before. All right, let's see if that 12 volt circuit works. Yeah, we got juice. Yeah, this thing is gonna work. All right. All right, all right, all right. Who says that? Okay, so now we got to get it to pick up fuel. Now I went on the inner screen and I found a guy that sells this gasket, diaphragm, and all this for this engine. So we got that on order coming. But I want to look at these fuel lines here. They're hard as a carp. So I'm going to take Mr. Heat Gun and I'm going to warm them up, and hopefully I can get them to come off of there without, well, I'm going to replace them. I'm going to put new ones on. But if we warm them up, I should be able to pull, oh yeah, I got that one off. What about this one? Yeah, this one's soft too. Yep, I got them off. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh, look, they're plugged solid. They are plugged solid. There's a bunch of crap in there. All right, let me get my little cleaners here. Oh yeah, look at that nastiness in there. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is there's 3 screws that look like it holds this whole unit to the top of the fuel tank. So I'm going to take them screws out and see if we can expose some of this fuel tank. And then I'm going to have to take this carburetor off. There's a screw back there in the back. It's hard to see. I don't know if the cameraman can see it. And there's another one under here. So that's how we're going to have to get that carburetor off. So I can go through that when the parts come. But let's see if we can remove this. Now the muffin does move. You can move this muffin. And then there's one over here. Let's see if this will lift. Yeah. Now let me warm. There's another. This one fuel line crosses over. Let me warm that up. See if I can get that off of there. Yeah, we got that one off. That's this one here. There's one that crosses over. See? The one from here to the back that I just took off. Will this lift off? Yeah, here we go. It's lifting off. Okay, it's just cradled in there. This whole unit's cradled in there. 3 screws. So now I can concentrate on this. Let me spray some stuff in there. Oh, it's plugged. Alright, that goes through. I can hear it. That one goes through. What does this one do? That goes through too. Okay, so for some reason that must just be, I don't know what it does. What that hose would do. It's just a crossover line. And then this one must have something that goes down in the tank that draws the fuel up. And it's plugged. Now I don't know if there's a hose on the end or if this tube just goes into the bottom of the tank. But let's see what happens now that I ran that through there. Well, but there's a lot of nastiness on there. Something longer. Because that line is the one that goes right to the carburetor. Oh, I can't get nothing to go through it. And I need something longer to stick in there, because this is only going down so far. I got these guitar strings that I also use to rod stuff out. It goes a little deeper. It goes down that far. No. I don't know, maybe there's a check valve or something in there. All right. Does this fuel tank come apart? The bottom come off? I don't know. No. It's all sealed up. Feels like I'm hitting the bottom of the tank. Well, we'll have to look in that a little deeper. Yeah, it's not going through. But this does. And that does. But at least we know it's going to put out power. So next will be pull the carburetor off. Got stuff on me. And we'll see if we can get this thing to run on its own power. And put out power. And Tyrone power. So I got a camera in there, one of them lizard cams that you buy. And there's something in there, some kind of blob. I don't know if that's like a filter or... I don't know what that is. Ew. I'm gonna have to clean this tank better. Wish I can get a better shot of it. Look at that. What is that? Here. It's like a hematoma. Or a lipoma. Well, there's our tube coming down, and that looks like it's some kind of filter that was on the end of that tube. That's all plugged up with crap. So maybe if I put some kind of detergent in there, because carb cleaner doesn't seem to be working. So maybe if I put some kind of soap, detergent in there, I can get that cleaned out. Look at it. Oh, look at, oh. It's crazy. It's like a blob. It's like a scary movie inside there. That's something on the end of that. Kind of like a fuel filter, I would guess. It's creeping me out. I hope it don't come alive. All right, it's been 24 hours since I poured that soapy solution in there and got more nastiness out of this aluminum fuel tank. So I'm going to turn on this lizard cam. This lizard cam's all right. It's just the LEDs on it are weak. So that's why I got this other light in here. So we could see a little better in there. Okay, there's the tube. Right there. And here's that lipoma, I called it. Which I think this is like a fuel filter. This cone-shaped thing. Hold on, maybe I can get a better shot of it. Had a better one there for a second. There it is. See it? So there's the brass tube. And then this thing, this cone-shaped thing, I don't know what that is. I think that's some kind of fuel filter. I may have to dig that out of there. So now I'm going to take one of these guitar strings and I'm going to run it through that thing. So be on here, Mr. Cameraman. And let's see if we can get it to go through. Oh, oh, wrong one. But it started pushing that little thing down. That little fuel filter thing. Wrong one again. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this thing to go through. Oh, it's hitting resistance. I gotta really push on it. There we go. Oh, look at the nastiness. Oh, it just took a big poop. That's the guitar string. So now we're through. There's a big blob of poop on the end of it. So I'm going to go through the other hole and push on that blob. So get back on there. See, there's our guitar string. Yeah, see that thing? See, it's like spongy. So I'm thinking that was like some kind of fuel filter. I got to get that out of there. Oh, that's disgusting. It's almost like we're doing surgery here. Look at it. It's all spongy and mushy. So we got to get that thing out. All right. I already got the back screw removed on this carburetor. Now I'm going to take this off. And we'll get this thing cleaned up and ready to go, and then when our parts come in, we'll put it back together. Okay, I see how that goes. So this is our little air vane governor. And that just simply, it's got a little flat spot that just goes into there for our butterfly. And then in that kit I'm getting, it's supposed to come with these new gaskets. I'll leave that one on there. But this is the carburetor. There's nothing to it. Here's our little throttle butterfly. And of course I'm going to replace these fuel lines with new ones. But see, yeah, everything's plugged up. And what that is that's just old 2-cycle mix. That's the oil that's in there. And this is our adjusting screw here. So if I undo this, this will come apart from it and I can get that all cleaned up. And this is like our needle and seat. I think there's a little ball in there. I don't think it uses a needle. I think it uses a ball, like a ball bearing. So let's get it apart. What size is that? Probably like 5/16. Yep. Yeah, see, there's our adjusting needle. And this comes off of there. And we got this little flapper valve here that covers that hole. I'm sure in that kit I bought, there's a new one of these. This one looks like it's still good. And then we'll just clean this out. Clean this all out. Oh, there's like a little screen in here. Yeah, there's a little screen there. That's a little screen. So there's nothing to this carburetor. It's pretty basic and simple. It's just got to be cleaned. It's just got to be sprayed out real good. All right. So now all we need is our carburetor kit. put it back together, and should work and put out power. All right, we got the tank all cleaned out, got my new fuel lines on there, and we got our gasket kit that we bought off of Fleabay, and it was listed under Olson Rice gasket kit, in case you want to find it. It was $25 for this kit, and this is what comes in the kit. So I got everything cleaned up. So check this out. This is how this thing works. So right there is a little check ball. That's like your needle and seat. And it's got this little spring, a little roller on there. So this thing hinges under that little spring. And then that's our little metering thing. And then I clean this up. There's nothing to this. So this is where that little screen, here's that little screen. I took that little screen out that goes here. There's a hole right here that goes on an angle that I cleared out. And that goes into here where our high-speed needle goes. And then down on the bottom of this, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole in there too. And that's where that high-speed needle goes, our adjusting needle. So you got to make sure that's clear. And that's basically it for this carburetor. So I'll put that screen back in there, and then we'll reassemble this with our little flapper valve, our new one, which goes here first. That would go on there like that. And then our new gasket, like so. And then that goes back on here, like this. And then our little needle valve holds all this together. Come on, baby. There we go. So you got to line all this stuff back up. And that's where that long screw goes. So we want to get that all lined up. There. So it's all lined up, and then I'll take that screw back out and we'll put the other part back on. So now we take this out, and we got to put our little disc in here. And like I've said many times before, if you're not sure on something and you can't find information on it, just look at the wear marks. So you can see it's got a little dot in the middle, so you know that this was wearing on that. You know, you got to figure it out. That's why you got to be a lawnmower detective. And if we look at the old diaphragm, how did this thing go? Went like that. So we know this goes next. And then the gasket. So it's all a matter of just taking your time and studying stuff, and that's how you figure it out. If you have no patience, you need to find another hobby. Because all you're going to do is get frustrated and start throwing tools. And that's the carburetor mounting screw. I'm trying to screw that in there. Forgot I got my little tray over here. So that's it to this carburetor. So I'll go ahead and tighten everything down. Get everything all mounted. Get this all mounted back on there. And then we'll fill it with some dinosaur cocktail. And hopefully it'll work and run. Alright, let's fire this thing up again. Make sure it runs. I got it choked. It's not starting. There we go. Had to give it a little tickle. Woo! Come on, baby. Try richening it up a little bit. See if that helps. There we go. Woo! There it goes. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. And we tried boosting up the speed a little bit. That's what this screw is for down here. For the air vane. Just go half choke. There we go. Come on, baby. guy can give it back to his wife, and she can charge her cell phone with it. Yeah. All right, we got this little tiny tiger going again. I boosted up the speed, got a little brighter there. I don't know what it's supposed to run at. I just ran at 36, but we boosted it up a little bit more. I'm sure you wouldn't want to hook your cell phone to this thing. It'd probably ruin it. So, there you have it. We resurrected another antique vintage piece of equipment. We have resurrected it. We have brought it back from its demise and made it work again. Boy, it took a lot of work, but we got it going. So, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Taryl Fixes All. I'm Taryl in my festive sweatshirt. This is a sweatshirt, and it's toasty warm. I am just so warm. Get yours today at our website. We got these. Follow me with your tiny tigers on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! Got it running again! Yeah! I gotta find an air cleaner for it now. Hello, can I help you?
Yes, I came to pick up a generator. My husband dropped it off.
Oh, what's your husband's name?
Holy buckets.
Holy buckets! I got that generator right here.
Excellent. Awesome. And it works?
Yeah, it works.